Jai Hind friends, I am Major General N. Srinivas, 1981 December commissioned artillery officer. Having served the Indian Army for 38 years, I superannuated from the appointment of General Officer Commanding Telangana and Andhra Sub-area in 2019. As part of Defense Chats, today we are going to explore the firepower of the Indian Army, that is the Indian artillery, the way it grew from Kargil 1999 to Operation Sindoor 2025. Who else can explain it better than former Director General of Artillery, Lieutenant General K. Ravi Prasad, Param Vishishta Seva Medal, Vishishta Seva Medal. Lieutenant General Ravi Prasad, we have been friends since past 40 years. Lieutenant General Ravi Prasad has had an illustrious career as commanding officer deployed in Jammu and Kashmir. He earned for the unit citation. As brigade commander of a mountain artillery brigade, again deployed in counterinsurgency, counter-terrorism operations in the northeast, he was awarded the Vishishta Seva Medal. And finally, as the Director General of Artillery, for his innovative approach in modernizing the Indian artillery, he was awarded the Parama Vishishta Seva Medal by the President of India. It's a great honor to have you, General Ravi. Hearty welcome to you.
Thank you, sir.
So today we shall discuss how the artillery has grown from 1999, where they have achieved the best of results, where it has been praised a lot by all the commanders in the field that artillery is the one which won the war in 1999. And today, in 2025, Operation Sindoor, the firepower and the standoff weapons, they have brought us the glory. So it appears that it all revolves around the firepower for which you and me are the custodians, and we have been part of it in the last 40 years. If we have to recapture how artillery has changed from 1999 to 2025 in a short way, what would you say?
Before I start, sir, I'm very happy to be interviewed by you. You've been the Colonel Commandant of the Regiment of Artillery yourself, and as you said that you've known each other. You've been mentoring the Regiment of Artillery. You've also been a guide to us. So today I'm extremely happy to be part of your podcast and to share my thoughts with you.
Thank you.
What you said is absolutely true. The Op Vijay of the Kargil war has been a turning point for the Regiment of Artillery. You asked me to give in one sentence as to how the artillery has evolved from Op Vijay to Operation Sindoor. I'll just say it is from neutralization to destruction, surely on its way to deterrence under the umbrella of self-reliance.
That's fantastic. Let us discuss a little bit about Kargil. In Kargil, that is the first time that we can remember where massed artillery fire was brought upon the targets to destroy them. So, however, the weapon systems that we had at that time were the normal guns. The modern weapon systems hadn't been introduced by then. And it was a massed area domination, area neutralization. Pinpoint accuracy had not yet come. What are the lessons that we have learned in the Kargil war that we have imbibed and made you modernize the artillery during your tenure?
Absolutely, sir. In fact, the Kargil was the turning point, as I said, for the artillery to modernize. We have learned several lessons. The biggest lesson what we could get that time was lack of ISR. We lacked intelligence, we lacked surveillance, we could not obtain targets accurately, we were not sure where we were firing. The OP officer did not have the reach to correct the fall of shots. So ISR was the biggest casualty. We never had any weapon locating radars. In fact, we did have such a Mark 1 that time. But unfortunately, the operating ceiling of such a Mark 1 was only 10,000 feet. So such a Mark 1 also could not be employed. So frankly speaking, we did not have any eyes in the sky. We did not know where our rounds are falling. The second lesson what we learned was the weight is the might. In mountains, the field guns and the field ammunition was not making much of a dent on the sangars and the bunkers, not of the bunkers but the sangars what the Pakistanis have actually constructed. As it is, the most of the ammunition is to fall in the valleys. It is not very effective in the mountains. But whatever little probably they are able to engage the objectives or the targets because of the less lethality, the weight of the round as such, so it was not very effective. The only rounds which were effective were the medium rounds. So that was the Bofors. We did have some 130 guns during that time, but unfortunately you are aware 130 guns, they do not have a high angle fire, so they are the flat trajectory guns, so they could not be there.
Would guided munition, surveillance system and real-time targeting, would it have made some difference?
It would have a tremendous difference provided we had such capability. Unfortunately, we didn't have, but the beauty of artillery is that we are always innovating. It's not the gun actually what matters, it is the man behind the gun. That time our commander, Brigadier, now Major General retired, Lakhvinder Singh, very innovatively employed the Bofors guns. For the lack of surveillance, what we had, the accurate location of our targets not there, notwithstanding, we employed these guns in direct firing role. And that means the gun could see the target. So that's where probably in the direct firing role, we achieved for the technology what was not existing then.
Yeah, buffers played a major role in Kargil war, especially in the heights and the reverse slopes. The capability of the Bofors gun, the of firing high angle, that could have helped us in neutralizing those enemy targets which are behind on the reverse slope. Could you explain the effect of this Bofors capability of high angle fire, especially in the mountains?
Yeah, Bofors gun is a gun howitzer, as most of you people know, and it is a 155 caliber of 155 39 caliber, and that was the only gun which was effective besides the motors which had a very short range to fire in the reverse slopes. But unfortunately, as I said earlier, though the gun was firing, we didn't have the observation. We did not actually know where the rounds were falling, whether our engagement is effective or not effective.
Was Kargil the turning point where you had to standardize 155 as the standard caliber of the weapon systems? Did we realize at that time?
Yes, Kargil is the turning point where the Indian artillery has taken upon itself of mediumizing the entire Indian artillery, and 155 caliber is taken as the universal caliber for Indian artillery. It is basically for the weight of the shell, for the lethality, as also most of the guns for the rate of fire what they could give. So they found that 155-52 caliber is the universal caliber for the mediumization of Indian artillery. Moreover, having a universal caliber for the entire Indian artillery across the sectors would have eased the operational logistics. Same ammunition can be fired from all the types of caliber length, be it be 155-52, be it be 155-45, or be it be 155-39. The same ammunition can be fired from all these types of guns.
Post Kargil, there were a lot of studies and lot of committee reports, group of ministers report, Subramanyam committee report. Lot of things had come out, but I see that not much had happened even in the next couple of decades perhaps. But of recent, uh, we have started realizing that depending on foreign equipment is not the answer. We have to have Atmanirbharta in weapon systems. Towards this, several efforts were made, especially by you and your predecessors in the Directorate General of Artillery, where we wanted to develop our own gun systems. Towards this, during your tenure as the DG Artillery, how did this progress towards Atmanirbharta? Though the groundwork may have been done a couple of decade earlier, and it was progressing.
Yes, the turning point came actually in 2012 when the Indian industry has came into being, and the DRDO also started collaborating with the private industry, and then they were making the design come development models by collaborating with the private industry. So as you said rightly, the effort was there by the previous DG's artillery, and the good thing is that everyone has followed it. I don't think any DGRT came and changed what was enunciated in the initial stages, that we will go for mediumization. That too, it will be 155 caliber of different caliber lengths, of course, for the requirement of the terrain and for that operational scenario. The mantra has always been mediumization through indigenization.
Fantastic.
So that's how we have said that we will give prominence and will give importance to the Indian made guns and made by the DRDO, designed by DRDO and manufactured by the Indian industry. Barring one odd case, I think most of the guns what we will be having now are the Indian made guns.
How, during your tenure as the Director General of Artillery, how was your relationship with DRDO and the private industry? DRDO, you have alluded a bit. More about private industry.
The relations between the Artillery Directorate, the DRDO, and the private industry has been very cordial and very smooth and very understanding. I'll give you examples. Initially, we made a Dhanush gun. I think you're aware about Dhanush, where we had the blueprints of the Bofors, the famous or infamous the Bofors gun. They also gave us the blueprints of the gun to be made in India subsequently. Unfortunately, after the scandal of the Bofors gun, these were kept in the cold storage. But later on, these blueprints were taken out, and at the behest of the Arty Directorate, the OFB has taken upon this challenge, and the blueprints are put into practice and use, and it is a very big story as to how actually Dhanush gun has come up by painstakingly, part by part, this Dhanush gun was actually manufactured. Their Arty Directorate has placed one weapon WDET
Development team?
is a development team weapons development and execution team. There's one dedicated team was kept there to assist the OFB to manufacture and design and test the Dhanush gun. Similarly, you must have heard about attacks, which I'm sure will be coming up in the due course of your discussion. The advanced towed Arty gun system, which is again designed by the DRDO, but the manufacturing partners of Tata and Bharat Forge. Again at the ARDE, we kept one WDDG, Weapon Design and Development Group,
Oh, fantastic.
or Weapon Design Development Team, WDDT. Again, a dedicated officer and a team there to assist the ARDE in improving the design, as also to assist the production these companies, both Bharat Forge as well as the Tatas, to develop the gun.
During our younger days, we have been hearing that in the Directorate, the development of GSQR and the testing process, they used to take quite a long time. And even the GSQR used to be some could not be realized most of the times. You have spent quite a lot of time in the Directorate. Any changes that have been made to shorten the time so that the induction can take place early, and even the GSQR that is being made, any changes that have been brought in?
GSQR has been a very iterative process between the user and the designer, that is the DRDO, and the other agencies, the acquisition agencies. So the GSQR, I think, is being made with a consultation process, and I don't think it has taken such a long time, because as I said, it's an iterative process. Everybody had applied their mind to it. So GSQR has been generally okay. What probably you mean to say that the time taken is the bureaucratic process of the files moving from one agency to the other agency and the final approval. Probably that is the one which would have taken time, not necessarily GSQR, but also other processes in the acquisition time.
Okay. Now, with the several changes that have come about in the DPP and the defense procurement policies and the procedure, anything to cut short the time has come out?
I am told that there is now they are in the process of revising the procurement process, and they are still iterating as to what all should be done. And one of it is that maybe the trial duration, for which the duration the trials take, it is a very long time, because in our case the equipment will have to be trial and tested both in the summer season as well as the winter season, that is in the winters as well as the high altitude area. So the trials generally take a longer time, so they are trying to see as to how we could cut short the trial process. At the same time, as I told you, they are also trying to see how best they can reduce this bureaucratic process of from the production to when you give the contract for the bulk production.
Okay, I think in the recent times we had to procure certain items, ex imports like K9 Vajra and M777. At the same time, when we were developing our ATAGs and Dhanush. So these two, how did you as Director General manage these two paths, these twin paths of inducting and absorbing the imported gun systems, at the same time developing our own in-house weapon systems?
Any weapon system, be it be the what we are getting from the a foreign vendor, or whatever is being done in the by the Indian manufacturers, initially we have to understand the weapon system the OEM will carry out the training. The OEM will carry out the training, and there is a team which is dedicated, that is the initial lot of instructors, which is the induction cell we had for the M777 as well as for the K9 in both the cases, and I'm sure we will be having for the attacks as well in the times to come. So these induction cells were trained by the OEM. In the M777 case, they were trained in the US itself. A team has gone abroad. They understood the nitty-gritties of the M777 system and how it is to be carried even by the Chinooks underslung, and various engineering support, maintenance, and also the operating that equipment. In the K9 case, the OEM has come down to India and it has trained our instructors. Then thereafter we had an induction cell in the School of Artillery. There is a dedicated induction cell and the equipment is also placed there. So which all the units which are likely to get this equipment, they have been sent to this induction cell. The core team, basically the gun detachment numbers 1 or the layers and the AKGs, some officers, the core team is to go and they used to get trained by the induction cell. It is most of it is a practical knowledge, how to deploy, how to fire, how to maintain, and how to look after the gun, the engineering support. The EME people are also very actively involved to understand, because the gun is in warranty for about 1 year, and thereafter the EME has to take charge. So the EME also is very closely associated with gunners. That team was there, and before taking over the gun, they've gone for the pre-induction firing. The detachments have fired the gun, they understood the gun, then only the gun was actually inducted.
Oh, that's fantastic. Would you say that Pinaka rocket systems is the first success story of our Atmanirbhar efforts?
Pinaka was a success story where again the DRDO was designed and but developed by the Indian manufacturers.
So it's
Yes,
Atmanirbhar.
that was the model, I think, probably which has been followed for the attacks also. The Pinaka was manufactured by 2 agencies, again by L&T and Tata, and it is a big success story.
Oh, very nice. India today fields an impressive range of indigenous artillery weapon systems like ATAGS, Dhanush. How do they compare with the global benchmarks?
In fact, if you take attacks, probably I think it is the world class gun. I think it has made a record of achieving almost 48 kilometers in the trials stage. It is the only gun which has got a chamber capacity of about 28 liters and fires in zone 7. No other gun, I think, in the world which is known to be firing zone 7. So it is all electric, very low noise, and it is a fantastic gun.
In Pinaka rocket systems, what does the evolution from unguided to guided rockets mean in the battlefield?
Pinaka rocket system initially was only about 40 kilometers, and thereafter DRDO has taken upon themselves, of course, on the request of the Arty Directorate, that now they are graduating to about 60 to 70 kilometers, going on to 90 and further to 120, and there is also talk that they go for 300 kilometers.
That is with regards to the range.
That is the
It
range.
about the guidance part.
Guidance, that's what I'm going to come to. There is no point in having range which doesn't have precision or accuracy. So the guns which are coming now, extended range and guided. So now we are going to have a guidance system also in the rockets, so that it is going to achieve a pinpoint accuracy or a reasonable accuracy of what is acceptable to us. Because we say we want range as well as precision, or range and accuracy. This is what we are looking for now.
Yeah, in this ammunition and fuses, they play a critical part. The gun can deliver the ammunition up to a certain extent. The fuse also plays a very important role. How critical is the local production of electronic fuses and the charges?
The fuses, I think probably what you're talking about, your
Electronic fuse.
previous knowledge of having some problems, because we stopped the production of the mechanical fuses in the hope that we are going to have a
electronic fuses.
electric fuses, and that phase is over. That criticality is over. Now we got adequate fuses, and there is no problem
Electronic
at all.
fuses.
We got electronic fuses. We got the vendors, and I think probably we are opening up to the even the civil vendors, private vendors. Previously, the Bell and the ECIL, they are the one who were manufacturing this, and we have overcome that criticality, and now we got adequate fuses. And what is the other? You are talking about the charge system.
Charge systems.
Charge system, very good. So charge system is that we are talking about the mediumization, and Bofors always had the back charges, but for all the new gun systems we have now graduated to bimodular charge system, BMCS,
Okay.
which is much more efficient and which is have got the less wear and tear on the barrels. So initially we had the foreign vendors giving us the BMCS. Now we have our own factory at Nalanda, Ordnance Factory. They are the one who produces this BMCS, and there is no criticality again, because we are making adequate BMC charge systems in our country itself.
It's part of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
And we are making adequate charge systems, BMCS.
Target acquisition is very important. Earlier we used to have target locating radars. Now we are looking at UAVs. How far have we progressed here towards target acquisition?
We have come a long way from our Kargil days. As I said that we did not have the adequate ISR, but we come a very long way. We not only have the UAVs now looking deep into the enemy area, and they also are capable of flying in our own area and acquiring the targets by the SLAR methods. And we have the electro-optical system of LOROS, and we also have a surveillance radars like ELM, which will give you adequate surveillance. We also got access to the satellite imageries now, which we did not have previously. We got now adequate access to the satellite imageries. And besides that, we got weapon locating radars, which is Swati, which is state of the art, which is one of the best in the world, and I think it is one of the jewel in the crown of DRDO, I should say, and which is also wanted by the foreign countries, Swati radar. So all this put together, we got adequate surveillance, adequate target acquisition systems now.
General Ravi, precision and technical enablers. So we will discuss a little about it. See, modern artillery isn't just about range. It's about accuracy, networking and speed. How are the precision guided munitions changing the philosophy of artillery fire? Earlier we used to have massed artillery fire, bombarding everything, racing to the ground. But now you want to hit the target, the command post. Are we having any progress towards that, the way we used to see the firepower?
Absolutely. I mean, to just give you an example, you remember as to how much of rounds we used to waste in ranging, while you are operating on 25 pounders and 105 during our Voyos days, where we only had just about a binoculars and a compass with us. That's what the OP officer had.
Yeah.
But these days, the target acquisition system itself, is improved. Now the OP officer has got a TIOE. There is a LOROS, which is acquiring the targets. As also, we are getting the targets which are given by the satellite imageries to very, very accurately, as also the UAVs. So the target acquisition is very good. So you need not have to waste that much of ammunition what you have been wasting before. And moreover, today the most of the targets are actually in a built up area, in a populated area, where you want to hit a particular target and do not want to waste ammunition. So for that, what we realized was that we require a precision ammunition which will be engaging or destroying a target with minimum wastage of ammunition.
In the recently concluded or ongoing Operation Sindoor, we have seen that precision strikes and firepower played a major role in achieving our operational objectives and political objectives of destruction of the Pakistani terrorist camps or their locations, their headquarters, whether in POK or in Pakistan itself. It was a fantastic thing. So, in this, how much role you think artillery has played in neutralizing these, especially in POK, where the standoff weapon systems of the Air Force may not have been used?
Frankly, I am not privy to what all weapons have been used or which all weapons have engaged the targets in
But
the
the artillery
Pakistan.
would have played its part
So
in
I'll
destruction.
make a very I think reasonable guess what probably I could what I'll be knowing. For sure, the IB of the J&K, Jammu, and also the LC, the artillery would have been employed. All caliber artillery would have been employed to engage the targets. Wherever there have been locations which are known or which are to be targeted and which are to be taken out, I am sure the precision weapons like Excalibur would have been used, employed to have the pinpoint hit of the targets, because Excalibur is a weapon which have a submetric accuracy, and the certainly the 155 caliber, the Sharang, and the maybe Dhanush and the Bofors would have certainly been used, and to an extent the Pinaka also would have been used as a rocket system, and the Grads also would have been used.
We have seen that in Russia-Ukraine war, still the heavy artillery duels are going on. So, in spite of the advancement of technology and precision guided and standoff weapons, the relevance of artillery in future battles is not going to fade away. That is the way I feel. What do
No,
you say?
not at all, not at all. I mean, in fact, I think it is going to increase much further. If you really ask me, the days of infantry lining up with the FUP and going in extended formation, just assaulting on the objective, they're over now. And even the artillery also providing covering fire like in normal fire plans, I think those days are also over. The no more you'll be making fire plans at the rate of advance of infantry, those things are gone. I think the whole idea will be a non-contact warfare where the objective or the target will be taken care by the firepower and maneuver of firepower. By maneuver, I mean the gun systems what you have should be so agile and so flexible that they should be able to switch the fire onto different targets staying at the same place, or they should have such agility of being a mounted gun system or having a APU by which they have the self mobility to move to some places, firstly to avoid the counter bombardment, and secondly to have a better effect on the targets. So the relevance of artillery is not going to come down. In fact, if you ask me, it is only going to increase. But what is going to be of relevance will be range combined with lethality and precision.
I feel that the number of pieces of artillery that we require are very large. And if we are required to replace the 105 mm caliber by 155 or bring in Dhanush attacks and the mounted gun systems in a big way, the pace at which the industry can manufacture this, the manufacturing lines, they will have to they have to involve more industry partners so that we can have the numbers in faster time frame. What do you feel?
Absolutely, I agree with you. In fact, our industry has come a long way. I heard in the recent interviews of the Bharat Forge uh, um, management that probably they'll be able to make one gun per day, which may be, I think, very far fetched. But even if at all they make one gun per week or per month, I think that is going to be a very good, the rate of manufacturer. And when they're giving the manufacturing to two or three vendors, for example, as I told you in L&T, they gave it to the two vendors. Attacks, again, they're giving it to two vendors. So when you have the more vendors manufacturing the similar gun system, I will not say same, because the design is a little different when they're manufacturing by the respective manufacturers. So the rate of induction will be good, and I think probably you will be having the medium guns coming into the system much faster than what it was before by only one agency which was doing before. That's the OFB.
Yeah. Now that we are even exporting our weapon systems to friendly foreign countries, more agencies, more players may be interested in establishing production lines, which will be helpful to us whenever we are required to enhance the our requirement in addition to what we are supplying to the foreign countries.
In fact, it is always more the merrier, because the customer is going to benefit, the user is going to get benefited, the government of India is going to get benefited, because more the competition, better the quality, the better the price what you're going to get. So this is being seen now. Like if you recall, or if you must have read in the papers, like we've gone for the 155 52 caliber towed gun system other than the attacks, and there is a tremendous interest from the industry to manufacture this gun, and the many people have come up with their when the RFP is given, I think the many industries, people from the industry have come up. Like for example, L&T is ready to do it, BEML is ready to do it, the L&T is ready to do it, the Bharat Forge is ready, Tata is ready. So we got so many players and so many industry people are ready to manufacture one gun. So that competition will certainly will help, and will aid in the very large capacity of gun manufacturing. In fact, I will not be surprised. In fact, India becomes the gun manufacturing hub for the future for the world, and will be exporting to many countries.
That will be great. And let us talk about our life through in these past 40 years that we have spent. I keep hearing from you that you have spent, you have commanded your regiment in the beautiful Gulmarg Valley. Any anecdotes of that?
Anecdotes of that. It is actually we were there in the counter-insurgency, counter-terrorist role. Um, so, frankly speaking, our guns have been mothballed
Okay.
because we've been given the role of the RR stroke infantry, and we were busy in that. So, yeah, though we are so serious in our job that time, in fact, the golf marker and other people used to come and tell us, "Sir, why don't you just play golf? This Gulmarg golf course is something which is the best, and the many politicians and the industrialists and movie stars, they come to play here, and why don't you at least start?" Yeah, I missed out that. I think I've taken my job bit too seriously, and I have not picked up golf till such time I have become a major general.
That's
So
how perhaps your unit got the unit citation for the
so
dedication and the commitment that you have shown, that the unit has benefited from that.
but still I'm still a novice in golf
golf,
even now.
so am I. And you are getting the VSM while commanding a mountain artillery brigade in counterinsurgency operations. That is, tell me something about it.
It was again a fantastic experience. Frankly speaking, my artillery brigade had only two field regiments,
Okay.
which are actually with me, but otherwise there's a light regiment which was in Meghalaya, which is very far away, and it is generally being looked after by an infantry brigade at that place. So with the two artillery regiments, we stood shoulder to shoulder with the infantry in our performance. In fact, we got very good success in terms of neutralizing a very well known terrorist, and I'm very proud to say that both the units have got the unit citations, both the COs have got the VSMs, and we also had a Shaur Chakra.
That's
in one of the
incredible.
units.
That is
So
just
that has been a
fantastic.
very, very satisfying tenure I had as a Arty Brigade commander, where we could prove ourselves, though we were very, very small in number.
In the last 40 years that we have spent in the about 4 decades we were in the army, there were a lot of studies. At every second year, we were to do some long course or prepare for an examination, competitive exam, continuously update ourselves. So, what is your advice to the young gunners that how should they look at their next 3 decades in preparing themselves to meet the challenges that they are going to face as they grow older in the artillery?
Yeah, I always advise the youngsters, maybe in my unit or wherever I've been serving, they have to study, they have to read, they have to keep themselves update, they have to be tech savvy. So without that, it will be very difficult in this modern era of artificial intelligence and machine learning. And of course, you have to be a good leader, and you have to set an example, and you have to be always with the equipment and the men. More than the theoretical learning, it should be the application, the man behind the machine, and the application of firepower or application of artillery. That is what is actually more important.
Fantastic. You have seen, ladies and gentlemen, that in the last half an hour, we have covered the entire canvas of the life of an artillery officer over a period of 3 to 4 decades. So the bonding that me and General Ravi had developed when we were in the National Defence Academy, that stands today, and we are golfing partners also. Unless he gives me a ring to say that we'll go to the golf course, I am hesitant, I am reluctant to go. And we have made good progress on the golf course also. Our shots are going straight, and we are bracketing well so that we can putt on the green well. So in the defense conversations, we want to involve the veterans who have seen 3 to 4 decades of life. They share it with others who have had similar experiences, and as well as some guidance to the new youngsters who are joining the Indian Armed Forces. Thank you very much, General Ravi. It was fantastic having you over to begin with this defense chats.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Jai
much.
Hind.
Jai Hind, sir.